All right, happy Saturday, everybody. Welcome into the show. This is Philadelphia Eagles Now by Chat Sports. I'm Chase Sr., and as always, no matter where you are or how you're tuned in, thank you so much for making today's show a part of your day. Hope everybody out there is having a great weekend, and we are one day away from the NFC Championship game as the Philadelphia Eagles host the Washington Commanders. And on the show, some good Eagles news going into this game for the right to play in Super Bowl 59 against the winner of the Kansas City Chiefs and the Buffalo Bills in the AFC Championship. The Commanders going to be without two of their top linemen on their roster in this game. One a defensive tackle, one an offensive guard. The Eagles also getting some positive developments on the injury front as well, and I have to talk about this. Why the Dallas Cowboys hiring Brian Schottenheimer to replace Mike McCarthy is great news for the future of the NFC East and for the Philadelphia Eagles. Before we do all of that, I have a favor to ask from everybody. The Commanders Report by Chat Sports picked up earlier this week 2,701 subscribers on one video. I'm showing you the numbers right here. Yeah, you got that right. 2,701 subscribers on one video. It is a Chat Sports company record. You know what? Competition brings the best out of everybody. I want to beat that number with this video. So hit that subscribe button right here on Eagles Now, and then we get bragging rights inside the walls of Chat Sports, and hopefully that is a sign of things to come on the field at Lincoln Financial Field in the NFC Championship game on Sunday. What you get when you hit that sub button here on the show, daily Eagles videos, everything from news, rumors, analysis, opinions, where you have a voice. We just surpassed 100,000 subscribers. We do live shows and watch parties for every single game, and it's the best, most elite in-season, off-season coverage pertaining to the Eagles as we do it all. So lock us in, and let's take down the Commanders Report, and let's set a new record here at Chat Sports. All right, a lot of news that I want to touch on this Saturday afternoon. Up first, the Washington Commanders downgraded defensive tackle Daron Payne to out for Sunday's NFC Championship game due to knee and finger injuries. This is a huge loss for Washington, especially going up against this Eagles team and the identity that the Birds have on the offensive side of the ball. Saquon Barkley in the regular season, historic. Ran for more than 2,000 yards, and in the playoffs against Green Bay, more than 100 yards. Against the Rams, more than 200 yards and 2 touchdowns of 60-plus yards. This Commanders' run defense in their last 6 games has been a bottom 6 defense against the run, and they are also bottom 3 among 32 teams in the National Football League in yards per carry given up and rushing yards given up. And on 1st and 10 runs this year with Daron Payne on the field, the Commanders had a 64.4% success rate on defense. That was about average. Over 97 1st and 10 carries without Payne. That success rate dropped to 51.6%. That was dead last in the league. Earlier this week, Lane Johnson, arguably the best right tackle of this generation of football, spoke glowingly about that Washington defensive line, and he called Jonathan Allen, who came back off of a torn pec, I believe, and Daron Payne the heartbeat of that defense. So with the Commanders not having Payne in this game, it's a big loss for the Washington Commanders up front, on top of them already struggling against the ground game this year. And so the Commanders are now without 2 of their most important linemen. Sam Cosmi, their right guard, is out. And they gave up a pressure rate, I believe, against the Detroit Lions of about 45% once he went out of the game. And they're without Payne defensively at that defensive tackle spot. There is no excuse for why the Eagles in the trenches can't dominate this game with their offensive line and their defensive line. And I'm about to talk about Cam Jurgens, but Cam Jurgens, Pro Bowl this year, taking over for the Hall of Famer Jason Kelce, really good year for him. He's dealing with a back injury. Well, now he's not going to have to go up against Payne if Jurgens is able to play in this game. The interior of this Eagles offensive line in pass protection so far in 2 games in the playoffs, they have struggled a little bit. Landon Dickerson at left guard, Cam Jurgens at center, Mekhi Becton at right guard. Their job is now made a little bit easier with Payne not playing in this ball game. And for Cosme, Jalen Carter should be licking his chops right now. One of the most dominant defensive players in the National Football League. And if he can help the Eagles get that interior pass rush on Jaden Daniels, that is a recipe for stopping arguably the best rookie quarterback that we've ever seen and a player who is playing extraordinary football right now. Payne also played the most snaps of any defensive lineman for Washington this year and had 38 pressures and 29 defensive stops on the season. So with that, I want to see where you're at. If you think the Eagles will win this game, I want you to hit that thumbs up icon and like the video. If not, I want you to comment why. Coming up just around the corner, injury news on Cam Jurgens, Dallas Goedert, Quinyon Mitchell, Jalen Hurts, and I want to talk Brian Schottenheimer to the Dallas Cowboys. Before we do that, be sure to download the Game Time app. That is our sponsor for today's show. We really appreciate them for partnering up with us here on Eagles Now and at Chat Sports. Last-minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. And right now, when you download the Game Time app, you create an account and you use the code CHATSPORTS, CHATSPORTS. You get $20 off. Terms apply. First purchase only. Last-minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Prices drop as the event gets closer. You can see the view from your seat before you buy, so you know exactly what to expect when you arrive. There's the Game Time guarantee. If you find a lower price elsewhere, Game Time will credit you up to 110% of the difference. And I think a great feature is being able to see that vantage point and the view from your seat. And then you also get the best price point at those seats too. Not just an app for sporting events, by the way. If you want to go to Eagles Commanders at the link for the NFC Championship game, plenty of tickets available. But also you can go to concerts, comedy shows, theater events, and a whole lot more. I talk sports for a living, so sometimes I like to jam out to some music, go to a concert. I like to laugh a little bit and go to a comedy show. Game Time has you covered with those tickets as well. So one more time, download the Game Time app, create an account, use the code CHATSPORTS for $20 off. Terms apply. First purchase only. Eagles injury news here. So on Thursday, we talked on the show how Cam Jurgens did not practice because of a back injury. And so the Eagles shuffled up the offensive line rotation a little bit, and that starting five was as such. Jordan Mailata at left tackle, Tyler Steen at left guard, Landon Dickerson moved over and slid over to center. He played a little bit of center at Alabama. He's traditionally a left guard for Philadelphia and one of the top left guards in the NFL. Mekhi Becton at right guard and Lane Johnson at right tackle. Jurgens is so important to this Eagles offense and their offensive line and running game because of his mobility, his agility, his ability to get out in space on those pull blocks. He's so agile, and he's such a good blocker on those types of plays and in this Eagles ground attack. He's also very cerebral at that center position and just an overall really good player. So he did not participate in practice on Thursday. On Friday, though, he was a limited participant, and he was walking to the practice field with pads on and a helmet in his hand. That tells me that Jurgens is going to be able to play in this game. I don't think that he would be in uniform with a helmet on and shoulder pads on if he were not playing. Nick Sirianni said on Friday he's progressing, and I think that things are going in the right direction for him to be able to play. Dallas Goedert been dealing with a host of injuries this year, dealing with an ankle right now. He is also going to play. Quinyon Mitchell, Jalen Hurts, Quinyon with the shoulder, Hurts with the knee, full participants. And some Eagles players have said Jalen Hurts' mobility and him moving around, he's looked really good throughout this week of practice. And I think his mobility in this game, with how it helps the Eagles' run game, but his ability to make plays out of structure improvisationally in the pass game could go a long way in deciding this game to try to get the Super Bowl 59 in New Orleans in a couple of Sundays. Let me round out with this. I don't know what the Dallas Cowboys are doing, and as a lifelong Eagles fan, that's fantastic. On Friday night, Jerry Jones hired Brian Schottenheimer as head coach. He had this wild quote where he said, Brian has been a lifelong assistant, but he's no longer known as Brian. He's now the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. Jerry has completely lost it. And I said this on my X page. I said it on my Instagram page. Some people will not like this out there, and some people will make this a bigger deal of it than it's intended to be. Some people will like this, and I think it's a pretty good comparison. Jerry Jones being senile, impulsive, making weird decisions and saying odd things, and him being very successful, but clearly his best days being behind him, has become the football version of Joe Biden. Both are completely cooked. Jerry Jones is the football version of Joe Biden. There's just not a lot of thought out decisions that he is making at this point of his football life. He's been very successful in football and in business, just like Joe Biden was in politics, but just not fit for office, not fit for the post of owner and pretty much general manager of the Dallas Cowboys. And I think that Jerry has just lost his way. And I don't understand the thinking here. Even just bringing back Mike McCarthy would have been a better move. You are the Dallas Cowboys. You have 5 Super Bowl championships to your name, but you have not made it past the second round in nearly 3 decades. You have an iconic brand in history, and you are settling for Brian Schottenheimer. He was the offensive coordinator who did not call plays under Mike McCarthy for a team that went 7-10. He is not and was not a candidate for any other job. He's never come close to being a head coach before. And the Cowboys are hiring him to lead this team. This has 6-11, 7-10 written all over it. And the Dallas Cowboys, compared to the Eagles, great owner in Jeffrey Lurie, best GM in the game in Howie Roseman. Dallas, on the other hand, is directionless. They have no vision. They have no plan. And Schottenheimer's first head coaching interview was with the Dolphins for their job after Nick Saban left after the 2006 season. He had never had another head coaching interview after that. It's crazy. The last 50-plus-year-old coach with no NFL head coaching experience to get hired and win a Super Bowl with that team was Barry Switzer with the Cowboys 30 years ago. And Barry Switzer had so much success while at Oklahoma. There's been some chatter that this is a Dak Prescott hire. He is the son of Marty Schottenheimer, who was a great coach in the NFL for a very long time, but I just don't get it. Jerry loves selling tickets. Jerry loves hype. Jerry loves people talking about his football team. Why don't you just hire Deion Sanders? At the very least, that makes you relevant. It makes you popular. It makes you sexy. People will be interested. You will sell tickets. You will drive ratings. And now, for a fan base that wasn't interested last year, when you looked around AT&T Stadium, it wasn't sold out. I was in the Dallas area for Christmas. You could have gone to the game for $30. And being the businessman that Jerry is, he doesn't like that. But you hire Brian Schottenheimer, and that's not going to drive any hype at all. If anything, Cowboys fans everywhere are really fired up about this. They just don't get it. And so this is good news for the Eagles because you think about this division. Eagles are going to be in a good spot. They have been since 2000. Since 2001, they've made it to 8 NFC Championship games. A third of their seasons have resulted in Final Four trips. The Washington Commanders, they're going to be relevant and elite for a long time, in my opinion, because Jaden Daniels is that dude. He is special. The New York Giants, going to try to get a quarterback in the draft. If it's Cam Ward, Shedeur Sanders, that'll help them out and maybe get them back on track. And then you have the Dallas Cowboys, who hired Brian Schottenheimer. Crazy. Couldn't believe it when I saw it on Friday night, but at the same time, I kind of could believe it because that's what the Cowboys have done of late. And of the 2 hires that we saw on Friday night, Robert Saleh back to the Niners as defensive coordinator and Brian Schottenheimer to the Cowboys as head coach, I think Saleh's a better move for that respective organization. All right, another reminder before we hop on out of here. Commanders Report picked up 2,701 subscribers on one video. I think that we can beat that with this video alone. Hit that sub button. We'll be live for a watch party tomorrow right here on Eagles Now. Can't wait to see you there.